Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinars, Growing the Business Through Artificial Intelligence in Marketing and Communication. Today, our esteemed speaker, Mr. Paolo Ramazzotti, the founder of Mind the Gap and Digit Tools, will take us to the journey about introducing how AI can facilitate your goals, and especially in the marketing and communication sectors. He will highlight for us a couple of points around driving smarter marketing strategies with AI insights and automating personalization and campaigns for efficiency, integrating the business and marketing goals with AI for impactful alignment, also securing a competitive edge with AI tools. Mr. Paolo, welcome today. You are mute, Mr. Paolo.
Yeah, right.
Well,
thank you.
How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. Very good. Very excited.
Same as. Thank you for coming and give us your time to be with us here today. And I will leave the floor for you to proceed the webinar. Thank you.
Well, definitely my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And of course, thank you, the Viquality Group, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. This is a very challenging times we are in when it comes to artificial intelligence. So I think I hope it's going to be useful for everyone. I have, I think I can skip these parts. I'm sure that everybody knows who the Viquality Group is and what is your vision and mission and the values that you stand for in your area. When it comes to us, Mind the Gap, we are a small consulting company, more of a boutique consulting company. We focus on specific global projects and we try to help our clients grow. But I'm not here to talk about myself, and I really want to jump into the subject immediately because it's very important for me to set the things straight immediately, which leads me to the following question. So okay, there's something sounding. I need to understand what's happening. Okay, I'll open.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Paolo, but one of my colleague just joined now. Thank you.
Oh, okay, no problem. Welcome then. So I'm going to leave the chat open. So in case you have some questions, I'll try to address them as I speak. Otherwise, we will address them later. I'll try to squeeze in some time afterwards to discuss what has been showed today. And I hope you will feel free really to make questions, because the more interaction we get here, the better it's going to be for you, the more valuable it's going to be for you. Right, so as I said, I like to first of all set things straight. And that means agreeing everybody on a very straightforward question, which is, what is artificial intelligence? Because there is like a whole literature of books, articles, and movies about artificial intelligence that are kind of depicting a bit of a tragic scenario and a bit of a dangerous situation for us and for humans, let's say. And it's important also to understand that there's a lot of people that talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning and algorithms without really understanding what is the interdependency of such terms, without really understanding what exactly it does mean. So since we're talking about artificial intelligence today, it's very important for me that we agree on the same definition. I'm using Wikipedia definition because it does fit very well into the topic. And Wikipedia says very easily, artificial intelligence is intelligence demonstrated by machines, okay? And it's opposed to natural intelligence, which is what we have in different quantity, but that's what we normally have is natural intelligence. Now, the point of artificial intelligence that is to understand most of all is that we are talking about a system that perceives the environment in which it is set to work in and takes actions and takes decisions, okay? This is why we call it intelligence, because it doesn't only react to a simple stimuli, but it just also takes decisions by considering different factors. And that's what makes it, as we say, intelligent. But let's try to understand how these concepts are grouped, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of buzz around the fact that we call it, we talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about machine learning and deep learning. Let's try to understand what is the overall system here, okay? So when we talk about deep learning, when we talk about machine learning, we are talking about subsets of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence includes, but doesn't only include, deep learning and machine learning. Okay, so okay, so when we look at, I'm sorry, I was reading the communication into the chat. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, this is the relationship between them. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence. If we want to put it into a better description, then the concept of artificial intelligence is the broader concept of machines that are able to carry out tasks that are normally considered smart or intelligent. While machine learning is already an application, it's a subset. So it's an application based around the idea that we should be able to just give a lot of data that we have to a machine, which has been powered with an algorithm, and the machine can learn about this data and can work on the algorithms that we created and make them self-learning. This is the process. But when we talk about deep learning, then deep learning is a specific approach within the machine learning subset, okay? And it refers to the fact that the deep learning tries to mimic the way that the brain works by using a connection of neural networks that create these sort of artificial neural networks that are the center of the decision-making process, because they are trying to mimic the biological structure of the brain. This is it. So when we talk about deep learning, we refer, for example, to, I'm sure you know, the famous, chess application, that can play the game in a way that it learns by itself. Okay. But let's dive into our topic. We're not here about just to talk in general about artificial intelligence. We're going to look at how it applies to our everyday life, because it has already started to influence it. And when we look at the technology landscape in which artificial intelligence is developing and moving at the moment, what you see is that it really applies to very, very broad spectrum of technology applications. In this case, you can see that we have machine learning and deep learning, we have neural networks, pattern recognition, which means understanding images, understanding videos, understanding what happens in an environment. It has natural language processing, which is the part of artificial intelligence which is dedicated to understanding the written or spoken word. Chatbots are on the rise, and they refer to, of course, the ability to understand and comprehend a dialogue between a machine and a human, and sometimes even a machine to machine. So it's not far away the moment in which we will have bots that will talk to other bots on our behalf, okay? Then there is another part of the application which is referring more to the computing part and to the application into other systems, such as cybersecurity, in order to generate, for example, fraud detection, fraud prevention. We have robotic personal assistants, which we are using every day. So I think that all of us are using, our phones, for example, with a vocal search, and that's a robotic personal assistant. Yeah, in a way. We have the whole system of also gaming, which is controlled by thought. It's already happened, not only by movement. And then we have virtual companions, interactive real-time translations. There's a whole scenery of applications for artificial intelligence that shows how much it is integrating into our today's society. What we are going to look at today is just a part of this. So we're looking at how artificial intelligence systems are being used for business and marketing and communication purposes. This is a very specific area, and I'd like to start focusing on that because otherwise the subject becomes very, very broad. So at the moment, I skipped a slide of the survey. I will ask you later to fill in a survey just to understand, where we are standing all together here in this audience that we have today. So first of all, let's look at how artificial intelligence is used in business. These slides, they don't only refer to all the possible applications. We are looking at the most used ones and the most common ones, because otherwise it would be definitely not too long to discuss into one single webinar. First of all, one of the standard applications is within operations supply chain. So I'm sure that you are aware of the fact that artificial intelligence is used to try and forecast the demand of the markets in which a business is moving. So it does use historical data to generate forecasting. This is a very, very important topic that actually covers everything that we're going to talk about today. So it is very important to understand that whenever we are using or we want to use artificial intelligence, we need to make sure that the data we feed it with is actually correct, it is clean, and it is hopefully in a high volume. So without a big volume of data, it's very difficult for the algorithms to work. We'll see examples of that. Forecasting definitely is one of the most important applications in general of artificial intelligence, because forecasting means that you want to use historical data to understand what's going to happen in the future. This is done when it comes to understanding the demand of markets. It's also done to understand when is, for example, maintenance due into machinery. In this reel, we are talking about IoT, so the Internet of Things. There is, of course, a very big revolution happening in which the IoT devices are connected to algorithms and machine learning software, which will be able to identify when a certain machinery might have a potential failure, or when it should be optimized in terms of uptime, and of course to avoid breakdowns. Okay. When it comes to the logistics departments, there is a very important case history. We don't have time to look at it today, but I hope you can find time to look it up. There's DHL that is doing great things by optimizing routes when it comes to logistics in order to make sure that the delivery schedules happen seamlessly and on time. And because this is very important for them to save time and especially fuel costs. Okay, so please remember to look it up. If you look up DHL logistics optimization through AI, you will find a case history. It's going to be very interesting. There's other case histories we'll look at today, but this did not fit into today's schedule. Not only AI is applied to operations and supply chain, it is very much applied into finance and accounting. So, of course, fraud detection is one of the most common and one of the first fields in which artificial intelligence has been used. So it is able to use massive data sets to identify unusual patterns and trying to mitigate financial risks. This, I believe, it's very important. One of the things that I wanted to say, I'm sure that you're using or that you're familiar with tools such as ChatGPTs. When you use ChatGPT, if you're not aware of, you should know that ChatGPT also allows you to create images. It also allows you to examine Excel files. So there is a list of plugins and integrations that can be activated within your ChatGPT account. One of those is the one that analyzes data sets. And I have personally used it to analyze and check anomalies for big sets of data when it comes to advertising campaign analysis and huge data sets of information about users' behavior on a specific website in reaction to a campaign. In finance, Risk assessments is, of course, full of AI applications because it's important for banks and in finance business in general to understand the credit worthiness and of specific audience, and also to understand the value and the return on investment of some potential investments. Okay. Let alone the fact that the automation of invoicing and reporting is also something that has been that artificial intelligence has been applied to, because it needs to streamline the routine tasks. It needs to free up some the work of the finance staff and letting them concentrate on strategic work. This is a concept. Sorry, this is a concept that I very much want to stress. There's a current of thought that says that artificial intelligence is going to take away our jobs, and it's going to just take away a lot of opportunities for people. I am sure that in a way it is true. I don't want to go into the philosophical thinking, but I just want to share this thought. So I'm sure that it is true that it's going to change the way that we look at work. But we have to see it as an opportunity. We have to start using it in the simplest of the ways, which is freeing up some of our time. This is the goal that I would like us to all achieve today, understanding that the least that we can do with artificial intelligence today is to free up some of our schedule. So giving away some recurring tasks, giving away some analysis tasks, giving away some mathematical tasks that take too much of our time. So that is something that we need to start looking at. The nearest opportunity to use it in an efficient way is that one, is trying to give us more time. And in that case, we will be able to dedicate our time to a more strategic activity, which is probably going to help us work better on our business. Therefore, I don't share the fear of having a risk, or risking a job, or risking activities, because I am perfectly aware that we are not really likely to lose our job in favor of artificial intelligence or machines, but we are likely to lose our job in favor of people who use it better than we do. So this is a revolution that we cannot just stand and watch. It's something that we need to start looking at very, very quickly, and to understand swiftly how it can change the way that we work, and how it can facilitate our work. In finance and accounting, this is what is going to happen. When it comes to human resources, definitely screening candidates. I understand that this is a very, very hot topic. I know that every time we open a job position, we have, I don't know, tens or hundreds of CVs streaming in, and it's very, very hard to understand which candidates are worth looking at, also because not all the candidates are extremely honest and straightforward when it comes to representing their skills. So this is something that is used very much, artificial intelligence in, so screening the candidates for potential prospects. Engagement of the employee itself. So there's like a plethora of AI-powered chatbots that can answer employee questions. So it can be used for internal onboarding, for sentiment analysis, for support, and for, in general, intervention in crisis if it had to happen. Personalized learning is also another point. So there's a lot of tools that can help understand and can help share what are the ways in which a candidate can learn better how to integrate himself or herself within a company. Okay. This when it comes to business. Now let's take one step ahead. Let's go towards marketing. So this is, of course, my main field of operations. What I normally discuss with my clients is the need of integrating artificial intelligence in their marketing everyday marketing activities and into the decision making. It's not always easy to do so, but it's extremely important because it is a revolution that can, of course, not be reverted, right? So let's look at what are the applications in marketing in this sense. First of all, most common of all is the acquisition. Okay, we refer to acquisition in marketing as all the channels that are used to bring traffic towards a website or towards online presence of a company. Okay, so in this case, this is where AI is mostly used. Well, guess why? Because this is the biggest spend of all companies in the digital world. So the most money is spent by businesses in advertising online. So that is one of the reasons for which artificial intelligence has first been deployed and used in this field, because it is just the richest one. So where there's money, as you know, there's like more people trying to work to make sure that they get a part of it, and that's why a lot of technology has been deployed into this area. So artificial intelligence in the acquisition channel, so in advertising online, is used to understand the audiences where a certain business can find potential prospects. So artificial intelligence is used to optimize all the campaigns, to optimize the targeting, and mainly it serves one very simple task: trying to show the business message to the right person at the right time. There's a lot of work being done by Google, of course, with Performance Max campaigns, by Meta with Facebook active shopping campaigns, in order to try and maximize the power of the algorithm of understanding what is the audience that the business should show its ads to. And this does not reflect only to the online world. It also refers to the offline world, because there's a lot of applications in some countries that there's a lot of countries that you can where you can also do out-of-home advertising directly with Google and other tools. That's referred to OOO, out of home. Now, you have seen in any of these slides that you will see these three parts. First, the description. So as I said, how it is used, and it is used to enhance and increase the profitability of campaigns. An example, in this case, Netflix is very, very much known to use AI extensively, because every time we log into Netflix, we know that we see a personalized interface. This is called adaptive interface. So it actually adapts to everybody who's watching and at an individual level. So all of us will see a very different homepage of Netflix. And I also took the liberty of highlighting here for each of these slides some tools that are used into the acquisition. And I went a little bit beyond the usual ones, like I just mentioned Google and Meta, which we all know, to try and understand what are the other tools that are being developed and they are specifically designed by artificial intelligence to cover the acquisition in this case. Okay, I'm sure that Albert AI, so it's something that you want to take a look at, because it's one of the most developed artificial intelligence systems currently existing, and it's been there for, well, I think above 10 years, right? So audience discovery, as I said, also, as I introduced before, it's very important. So search engines are using artificial intelligence to understand what audiences they should target with their advertising. And there are, for example, chatbots that companies use to create better engagement. And there's a very nice example, which is this ASOS, the visual search that is used so that people can search for a product which is similar to an image which is uploaded. Okay, I'll show you the example. This is an example of the ASOS visual search. So it's an application that you can use where you can take a picture of a product and use the picture to search for products that are the ones that you're taking a picture of. So of course, it shows you similar products. This is a way in which the artificial intelligence is used to recognize an image, recognize a visual pattern, and then this pattern is used for a search towards a transaction goal. That means purchasing a product, okay? It's a very neat and powerful example. I cannot dwell too long into these examples, but my point is trying to show you the examples so that whenever you want to dig deeper into one of these topics, you can just look it up and go to see the whole case history. It would be too long to do this. By the way, we are going to launch a training, okay, in April. So after the Ramadan period is over, we're going to launch with Dubai Quality Group a training which is specifically used to actually look at the artificial intelligence fields hands-on. And this is going to be lasting for 2 hours and a half. So I really, really ask you to just keep in touch for that, because we're going to send out to all the participants today an early bird offer to be able to subscribe to that training and secure your spot, because it's going to be more of a workshop than what you see today, which is definitely more like an eagle-eye view of what is happening into the artificial intelligence world in business and marketing. Going ahead, content consumption. This is something that I'm sure everyone is aware of, because this is one of the most important uses. AI is used today to understand what content is being published, and it is also used to predict what content a user is likely to engage with. And of course, it is used into creating content. Now, one of the most powerful, tools that we have is ChatGPT, but I did not want to just display ChatGPT as an example because it's known by everyone. So I listed other 3 tools that are very, very interesting, and you should take a look at when it comes to the content curation, content prediction, and content creation. Please use them wisely. That means that you have to be aware of the fact that, for example, when it comes to search engine marketing, Google has definitely become very clever in understanding if a piece of content is only generated by artificial intelligence, or it is actually generated also with the help of humans. And Google is not very happy of websites that are only generated by artificial intelligence, because it kind of believes that there's not enough value, because it believes that it's just reworking other pieces of content which are already exists on the web. So it believes that it doesn't really add value to what a specific user is searching for. Now, I see that the chat is active now, so please make sure that you use it. For example, I'm not going to read all the things that you say maybe in real time, but for example, I would like to know if any of you is already using, for example, ChatGPT or other tools to create content. And I mean, are you using ChatGPT or Gemini to create, for example, social media posts or your editorial calendar or the ads that you're publishing? Or are you using it to create articles for your blog or white papers? Or it would be very interesting to understand a little bit more about the audience that is with me today, because I don't even see you, so I don't know anything about you, but I'd be very happy to get a feedback from you. I'll be happy if you will fill out the form that my colleague Susanna has just shared. It's a way for us to understand more about who we're talking to. And please also share with us your thoughts. Are you already using, for example, ChatGPT? Okay. Now, thank you, Doa, for sharing it again. Okay. Yes, I am very, very. I'm looking at that somebody's using the ChatGPT cautiously, and I very much like, and I want to underline the word cautiously. I also use it cautiously because I do understand that there are limitations. Okay, So if you want to use it, just look at the possibility of creating, rather than artificial intelligence, you should use augmented intelligence. Augmented intelligence is the joint efforts of artificial intelligence and human intelligence. That is what really works here. Use artificial intelligence initially for draft creation. Use artificial intelligence to put things in order. Use artificial intelligence to organize a text that you have already created, for example. Use it to improve the way that a certain content has been written in terms of tone of voice. You can use it to change the tone of voice that you decided in the first place. Just don't always rely on artificial intelligence to come up with ideas, because they might be not the most original ideas, and they don't normally come from you. Okay. Oh, this is a comment that I very much like. Sorry if I interrupt again. The most important thing I read in the comments is to apprehend is to understand what is information versus what is knowledge. This is actually the topic of another webinar that I gave last week. So very, very much on the spot. Thank you for this comment. Information is not knowledge. And let me take even one step back. Data is not information. This is the misconception that is happening today very much. People think that data is information. Data is not information. Data needs to be put together with some links in order to generate information. Information needs to be understood so that it becomes knowledge. Then knowledge needs also to be interpreted and analyzed for it to become wisdom and to give you the power of prediction. So this is the scale. Data to information, to knowledge, to insights, and then to wisdom. Okay? If you want to know more, please, I have some material about this. Just let me know, or you will see my email here. I will be happy to share, for example, material that I have from other webinars on this topic. But I need to proceed swiftly. When we talk about content consumption, one of the most important examples is this one. I'm sure that if anybody of you has or is using Spotify, this is definitely one of the most important things where you can see the application of one-to-one communication personalized by AI. So the Discover Weekly playlist by Spotify is something that is specific a one-on-one communication, and it's artificial intelligence is used to understand what your musical tastes are and what you're likely to be listening to. Now, email marketing is also another very important field in which artificial intelligence is used, because it can automate the content that you are sharing and you're sending, but it also is used to understand how people respond to that content. So the application that personally I see that is most useful is understanding the behavior of your email audience, of your mailing list, and understanding to a point that it can actually make predictions of what some clusters of that audience is going to do in the future. This is one of the most important things in which we are using email marketing, I believe, wisely today. We try to use the way that people react to specific messages in different channels, not only email, but specifically in email in this case, to create some clusters. So, for example, you can see, you send out emails and then you see if somebody actually, acts on the email and decides to buy some of your services, or it doesn't, okay? And according to this behavior and according to what kind of services somebody is interested to or somebody purchases, you can define clusters of people that are interested, and then you can define clusters of people that actually have bought, so they are clients. But within the clients subset, there are even smaller subsets, which is high spenders, like frequent buyers, like people that buy seldom and things like that, people that are likely to churn away and not to buy anymore. So these clusters can all be used for automatical specific reaction to that behavior in order to re-engage them, in order to offer them better content, in order to make sure that you're not losing them. So this is how artificial intelligence is used, by deciding in a smart way how to react to the behavior of users into your mailing list. And it interconnects with the acquisition part that we talked before, because it can actually take some of the clusters that have a specific behavior, suggest them as audiences to the advertising platforms, and create specific advertising. Sorry, I'll make an example that might be more understandable. Let's say that we have a mailing list for an e-commerce websites. We send out a message, and then we have a certain amount of people that will buy the most expensive, or will add the most expensive product to the cart. Then we know that that person is potentially a high spender. If more people belong to the cluster, we can take that cluster of emails, we can upload it to Google and to Meta. We can share that audience with Meta, and we can tell Google and Meta, hey, I need to find more people similar to this cluster in my mailing list. And this normally gives a lot of success to your campaigns, because it optimizes the way that the algorithm in Google works in order to find the best audience for you. This is probably one of the most important things. I could speak for hours about this, and I don't want to make you bored. This is anyway an interesting example. So when Sephora started to use extensively algorithms in its email marketing, it increased the open rate of their emails by 80%. Now, everybody who is subscribed to Sephora will receive very, very much personalized communications, because the content of their newsletter depends on your behavior on their social media channel, on your behavior on their website, on your behavior or clicks on the previous newsletters that you received. So everything is just put together into a database, into an intelligent tool that actually decides what to send you next. And the results speak by itself, okay? Other ways to understand, the applications of AI is definitely the activation of voice search, and the way that people are searching for information using their devices. Okay, I'm sure that everybody is using either Alexa or Siri or a Google Assistant to try and perform some tasks using your devices. And actually, this is a very increasing trend. And I think that you are aware that although they're not perfect, for example, I'm not super happy with Siri answers a lot of times, but I think that they are getting better and better. The point is, 25% of people, according to Google, are now using voice search on their mobiles. Is your business, is your website ready for voice search? There are ways to optimize your websites in order for it to be ready for voice search. And is it today? It depends on how you tag the HTML. It depends on how you label your code. It depends on how you write content on your website so that it can actually be interesting in the eyes of Google when it comes to deciding what website deserves to be ranking at the top when somebody makes a voice search. Because voice search is very, very different from text search. When people do searches using their voice, they use different terms than when they write. The length of the keyword that they search for is very different. And therefore, the whole behavior of Google reacting to voice search is different than the one that reacts to a text search. And not many people are optimizing their website for voice search, but 25% at least of global users of Google actually search using their devices, using voice search on their devices, okay? So this is, and as you see, that's an important statistic here, that 71% of consumers, they prefer to ask a voice search query rather than typing. That's definitely a high percentage, okay? Image recognition is another way in which AI is being used, and it is able to understand and identify objects, to actually use images to perform searches and to assist all the, for example, visually impaired or users that need assistance to understand what is within a search. One of the most important cases and showcases of visual search is the one that Pinterest is using. It's very, very interesting. So if you make a voice search, and if you make a visual search on Pinterest, it kind of shows you this wheel of tags that it has believed being relevant to what we're searching for, and it creates this sort of like a wheel of tags around a specific image, so that you can better refine or find what you were looking for. It's a beautiful example. I urge you to use it. Of course, it's best used on mobile device. Try to use it. It's really beautiful and very interesting to understand how clever it is when it suggests tags within a specific image, right? So when it comes to, like, for example, the image of strawberries, you see that then you can refine the search by searching for just strawberries, or for fresh strawberry, or just fresh, or how to grow strawberries, how berries, and how food. These suggestions are, of course, powered by the amount and the freshness of the searches that it has received previously during other searches. So it actually also tells you what is the demand of users when it comes to strawberries. It is a very, very important input for marketing efforts, because by looking at what tags appear here, you know what you should talk about in your blog, what other images you should publish, what other topics you should consider when it comes to empowering your website. It's extremely valuable content. It's very much underlooked. I'm sure your competitors are not doing that. There are tools that are automatically and dynamically creating a website, like Wix ADI, for example, based on some specific information that you give it, and using artificial intelligence. It's not super beautiful what comes out at the moment, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. One of the most important things in which AI is used, though, today is predictive customer service. So understanding what are the potential issues of a specific audience or a specific person within your customer database, it's very important. Understanding and potentially anticipating their needs is crucial for your business. And this definitely can be done by AI-powered chatbots and frequent asked questions tools. And there are companies that are doing it very well. I really need you, please, to go through to search for the following case, because it is unbelievable how much it has influenced the whole insurance market, insurance business. This example, the Lemonade Insurance, it actually uses an AI chatbot, which is called Maya, to handle all the policy purchases and claims. It actually is a chatbot which is able to close deals autonomously without really, the users to understand that they're talking to a machine. It is incredible. There are a lot of examples online where you can look at how Maya has answered and has closed the deal. This is the interface, so that when you can look it up, you can search for it. It is incredible the way that it actually drives people towards the sale by using some patterns of questions that it has learned by previous experiences, and guiding the users through the system of and the procedure of getting a new insurance policy. Please look this up. This is very interesting. It has disrupted the way that insurance is working, but very, very few insurance companies have now applied these high-level standards to their customer support. Customer segmentation is very common use, so especially for large companies that have large data sets of users, the artificial intelligence used, and these are tools like Segment, Blueshift, especially, I've used it in the past. It is very good in identifying patterns of very, very large group of customers. I know that we are all able to identify patterns when we look at data sets, but not when we're talking about hundreds of thousands of lines of code. That's too much time consuming, and AI can do it immediately. You don't even need tools like these that are mentioned here if you want to make basic analysis. Like I said before, you can easily use ChatGPT and fuel it with a file, with very, very large Excel file, and it will identify patterns, provided, of course, that you organize the information properly into the file. Otherwise, you will spend more time fixing the actual file rather than analyzing it. Okay. Customization happens this way. This is an example of how customization is used. It's connected with what I was saying before. Once you have identified a cluster, for example, of EIP clients in this case, then you can share this information with Google and Meta and make specific offers aimed at VIP clients. And segmentation is also used, for example, these are examples that are coming out of Blueshift, which is the last tool that I showed here, where you see that the clusters are shared with advertising platforms in order to create high-value segments, or they are also used to actually send emails and send communications to either new customers or active customers, and so forth and so on. Churn prediction, so artificial intelligence used to understand how likely people are to leave a certain website or to stop being a loyal client of a company. That's also very important. In this case, there's a whole system within the Salesforce suite, which is called Einstein, that is devoted to understanding what behavioral patterns show intention of leaving the company. It's very important. Since this is another very rich field, let's say. So the application of such intelligence is very it happens in a world, in a moment in which the companies are touched within their finance department, and that's why a lot of money is being spent in developing tools and intelligence that understands when customers are likely to abandon a company. It's such a delicate topic that a lot of money is being spent, for example, by IBM and Salesforce to predict such tragedy of people leaving a company and therefore to counteract. Okay. How does it do? It uses, of course, a machine learning algorithm that uses the historical data and uses also the data from new clients to try and match behavior of new clients with behavior of clients that it has already observed in the past to detect who are the customers that are likely to cancel a subscription or stop buying from a company or go towards a competitor, and then creates a custom process in order to gain them back, to prevent friction, prevent attrition, to try to get them to be loyal clients again. Product pricing is something that everybody is aware of. You know that artificial intelligence can use competitor data to understand what is the pricing range that you should use on your products. And I'm saying that everybody knows it because I'm sure that you're all familiar with Uber, Amazon, Airbnb, MediaMarkt. You know that the same product on Amazon does not always have the same price and doesn't have the same price for everyone. And the same is for Airbnb. And of course, in every airline, it happens the same. So the price is dynamic. It can change according to, an incredible amount of conditions, such as weather conditions, such as demand, such as interest, such as news trends and things like that. So all these factors can be taken into consideration when deciding how to price a specific product. And there are algorithms that help you understand how to do it without, frying your brain into taking into consideration a lot of aspects. One of the things that we do, for example, we have seen that for a lot of retail companies, inputting also weather forecasts into the bidding on the advertising platforms actually help decrease the price of acquisition. We're getting close to the end. So one of the things that we are using AI for is also improving the experience that a person has on a website. And sometimes it gives us results that we didn't expect. This is one example in which this Norwegian company decided to test whether it was better or not to use Facebook login on their website. Everybody would say, logging in with Facebook is so easy, so let's add it there. But they actually questioned, so is it going to work or isn't it going to work? Well, they made a test. They published 2 versions of the same page where you could log in either normally or with Facebook, and another page in which you could only log in normally. Well, the part on the right, so the one that actually did not allow people to log in with Facebook, had a 3% higher conversion rate. So it's the opposite probably of what we would expect. We mentioned fraud detection, so this is something that artificial intelligence is using a lot, especially when it comes to e-commerce, and also when it comes to fraud detection within advertising platforms. So Google and Meta are spending a lot of effort and money in understanding what are the fraudulent clicks. So because Google doesn't want a business to pay for a click that was generated by a bot or by a competitor. So they are trying to reduce the possibility of this to happen by using artificial intelligence tools that detect anomalies and unusual patterns of clicks in order to avoid overcharging users. And of course, just like Google and Meta, there's a lot of credit card companies that are using the same analysis to understand fraudulent and unethical behavior. Right. It's been a long journey in just an hour. I really urge you to please, if you want to know more, because I know that this has been kind of a very fast eagle-eye view of what has been where artificial intelligence is used. Then, if you want, you can book a complimentary call with me. We can talk 30 minutes about how artificial intelligence can be applied to your field. Because trust me, it can. You can already, from today, use artificial intelligence to improve your marketing efforts, to streamline some of the processes, to increase the profit of your company, and to probably better manage even the costs. So if you want to talk about how it can work, please feel free to book time with me. Of course, it's not going to cost you anything. My interest is to understanding better how you're using it into the Emirates, and I would be very, very happy if somebody decided to do that. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, because I will talk about this. I will share more information about webinars and trainings and so on and so forth, rather than other materials. So please feel free to connect. Now, though, I think we have a few minutes for the questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Paolo, for this informative session, and thank you for everyone joining us today on the webinar of Growing the Business through the Artificial Intelligence in Marketing and Communication. I hope everyone has found this session informative and inspiring. Please drop your question in the in the section of the Q&A, and we will take it further right now. Also, there will be a survey page will pop up after ending this webinar. So if you can give us 1 minute from your time to answer this question, I would appreciate it. Now we will wait for your question in the section of Q&A.
Oh, and please use also the survey that, and please use also the survey that Doa shared. I see that somebody has already replied. Please use it, because it's very important for us to understand how to better shape the content that together with the Dubai Quality Group we can share with you.
I'm going to reshare the link again for the IA survey.
I'm doing it. Okay, there it is.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So we'll be waiting for the questions. Yeah.
Shy audience. while we wait for questions, I can tell you that, funny enough, I'm actually starting to use, for example, I think that many people use ChatGPT, and sometimes I have troubles into creating proper prompts for ChatGPT because the success of what you ask depends on how well you ask. Okay. So lately, I've found some patterns in using Gemini, like Google's artificial intelligence, to create the prompts for the other artificial intelligence to be better specific. So I'm using one for the other.
Which one, from your opinion, when using ChatGPT or Gemini? Which one?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Actually, talk about that. Sorry. So ChatGPT, for me, it's a lot better when it comes to writing the content. A lot better. But it really doesn't tell you anything new. And the database, it's updated to 2021. So you cannot generate current, articles or on current happenings. When it comes to, if you want to write or get information about something that is happening today, then you have to use Google. You have to use Gemini, because that is trained by the Google searches that everybody does. So it is up to date. ChatGPT is not up to date. But sometimes you get very robotical answers from Gemini, and therefore that's another moment in which I get the reply from Gemini and I polish it with ChatGPT, because it's better into creating a proper tone of voice, into mimicking the tone of voice.
I notice also the difference that the Gemini give you the direction or the guidance how to build your the structure of your answer or the assignment that you are looking for to generate information about. But ChatGPT always direct to the point, short to the point, and give you the answer immediately without any guidance or directions how you build this or how do you generate this information. But I think also when you deal with the Gemini Google, it helps you a little bit to think and to enhance your skills. But there is a difference, by the way.
It's true.
But, yeah.
And I agree. The point is that now Gemini is being incorporated and embedded into Google normal search, and not many businesses like it, because if you get the answer too much on Google, then people will stop going to the websites of the companies. So Google is questioning whether it should or should not display these examples, because if you have too much intelligence into the search results, then people will not click and go to the websites of the businesses. That's not positive.
Okay. We have a question has been dropped right now from Sheikh Mohsen Ali. Tell us about your experience with Mind the Gap and your achievements, and what your most important key success factor is.
Oh wow! Okay, so I'll try to be very quick. Mind the Gap is my newest company. It's 4 years old. I have a team of about 15 to 18 specialists, all senior people that are very, very good in understanding the client needs. We always work on understanding what are the business goals of our clients before we make any marketing plan. This is, I think, the single most important differentiating point that we have from other companies, because we do start with business goals. Personally, my achievement, I don't have like specific awards, rather than some that was won a long time ago, but I started working in the internet field in 1997. So it's been now 27 years that I've been in this field. So I've seen a lot of things evolving. So I have a big picture. I think that the key success factors is to always be curious. That is extremely important. So you need to be curious about what is happening. You don't need to be vertical in everything. But I really, really think that curiosity is crucial in this field. Because if you just stop looking at something and if you avoid looking at that, then it's very important. Yeah. Okay, so another question that I see is you would like to know in UAE, what is the rate at which business adopting AI, and yes, what specific service? Okay, so I have to look up specific data about UAE But trust me, the point is that if you are using Google or Meta, AI is already working on it. You are already using it. So everybody who's using Google or Meta for acquisition, they are using artificial intelligence, whether they know it or not. And this is extremely important, to understand this shift, because the way that campaigns are managed today on Google and Meta is very different. It's very different. This is what me and my team are very, very much focused on. You need to be aware of how AI works in Google in order to create success. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of money. So what is the most important services? I am sure most important services is definitely banking and finance. It's always like that. Definitely supply chain, and also understanding, for example, within IoT, how the systems in the industrial world are working. And when it comes to marketing, definitely acquisition, which is trying to make the best out of each dollar spent. So those are definitely the services that are mostly being used, fueled by artificial intelligence. Oh yeah, will they play well for B2B online marketplace? Yeah, most of my clients, I would say 90% of my clients are B2B. Yes, definitely you have to look at voice fueled search in B2B. Very much. Yes, it's going to influence also that marketplace. It is already happening. And how is this happening? Because I think that your question also refers to how it is happening. Well, there's one data that I did not put into the presentation, but I can add now, that actually surprised me. I'll give you two numbers. First, 60% of voice searches are actually local searches. So if you need to think at the easiest and quickest way to optimize your website for voice search, look at what local content you have on your website, because 60% of voice searches will be referring to local searches, to somebody searching for a business into a specific location, the location in which likely they are in. So that's the most important. I hope this is answered. So that's the most important thing. One number, 60% of people are searching on mobile devices using voice for local businesses in B2B. Second number, 20% of the searches that Google received, not just voice in general, Google has never heard of. So you have to be also working with a grain of salt in trying to predict what your potential clients are likely to look for in the future.
Yeah, there is another question from Hazel.
Oh, yeah, Hazel, thank you very much for this question. So I did not clarify one thing. I am in no way affiliated with any of the tools that I shared with you today. So I was not absolutely at all advertising any of these products, any of these tools. So I'm going to use whatever tool helps my clients succeed. So am I open to collaborate with other AI tools? Of course, yes, absolutely. And I couldn't cover them all. I think there are like thousands of tools today. So I really wanted to point out just the most common 2 or 3, or maybe not the super popular, but the ones that you should look at into each field. So definitely I'll be open to expanding the horizon of offering. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify that.
I think we reached till the end. So far, there is no questions more.
But I like these questions. Thank you very much for these questions. They've been very, very spot on and very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, as Mr. Pablo mentioned at the beginning, we will have a training conduct after Ramadan within the month of April. We will notify you by email about the training, the highlights, the fundamental of the training as well, and a special rate for the people who attend with us today of the webinar. Thank you so much, Mr. Pablo, for your time and being with us. And hopefully we'll conduct more and more from these informative topics for our audience.
Hopefully. Thank you very much for you, and thank you much to everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a nice day. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.